Have you ever wondered what lies beyond? Today we're journeying back to Finland in 1974 to explore a truly fascinating story from the Near-Death Experience Research Foundation archives. This is case number 16098, the account of a woman named Anni S. It was 1974 in Finland, a year that would forever change Anni S' life. For months, she had been battling severe, debilitating headaches. After numerous tests, doctors discovered the cause, a tumor pressing relentlessly against her brain. Their verdict was unanimous and stark. Surgery was her only option. The risks were immense, the outcome uncertain. On the morning of the surgery, a strange sense of calm washed over her. She later recalled, "I knew this might be the end, but something deep inside me whispered that everything was going to be okay." It was a feeling that defied logic, a quiet assurance in the face of immense fear. As she was wheeled into the operating room, she surrendered to this inner voice, ready for whatever came next. Then, during the delicate procedure, something went terribly wrong. During the examination, one of the doctors inserted a needle into the back of my neck to blow air in. The needle hit my central nervous system by accident, causing my pulse to become abnormal. The medical team, a blur of focused urgency, worked frantically to bring her back. For several agonizing minutes, Anni was declared clinically dead. But while the doctors fought for her life, Anni's consciousness was on a journey far beyond the sterile walls of that hospital room. She found herself floating, weightless, above the operating table. From this impossible vantage point, she watched the entire scene unfold below her. She saw the doctors, their faces etched with concentration, working on her still body. This was evidence to me that the soul can leave the body. It was a bizarre and surreal paradox. She felt as if she had split into two distinct beings. One part of her was experiencing this strange, ethereal realm, completely detached and observing. The other part, however, remained connected to the intense suffering of her body on the table. It was a duality she couldn't explain, a simultaneous existence in two separate realities, one of spirit, the other of flesh. In this other realm, she said, there was no concept of time, no awareness of a physical body. There was only being, and then everything began to fade, dissolving into a soft, warm, golden glow. This light wasn't just a visual phenomenon, it was alive. She described it as the purest form of love she had ever known, holding her, surrounding her, and inviting her home with an unconditional embrace. It was a peace that surpassed all understanding, a feeling of finally belonging. Within this radiant light, she sensed a presence. It was neither male nor female, but an energy of absolute intelligence and profound love. It didn't speak in words, yet a message was communicated to her with perfect clarity. "It is not your time yet." The thought was gentle but firm, a statement of fact that resonated through her entire being. This was not her final destination. Then in an instant, the light vanished. She gasped, a sudden ragged intake of breath. The sensation was jarring. She was back in her body. The air in her lungs felt heavy, like lead. Her limbs were weak and unresponsive. And then the pain returned, overwhelming her senses with its raw intensity. She later confessed that she didn't want to come back. The peace of the light was so profound that returning to the agony of her body felt like a cruel expulsion from paradise. But she felt forced, pulled back into the physical world against her will. Her first moments back in her body were pure agony. The contrast between the realm of absolute peace she had just left and the excruciating suffering of her physical form was staggering and almost unbearable. The recovery was long and arduous, but something fundamental within her had shifted. After the surgery, Anni's life was never the same. Her deeply ingrained fear of death had completely vanished, replaced by a profound and overwhelming gratitude for each and every breath. She often said that even though words failed to capture the full essence of her experience, she was certain of one undeniable truth. Death is not the end. It's merely a transition. She began to look back at her life, the people she knew, the love she'd shared, the pain she'd endured, with entirely new eyes. The experience taught her that life isn't about what we accumulate, the possessions we gather, or the status we achieve. It's about connection, compassion, and the shared journey of understanding one another. Her priorities were reordered by a glimpse into eternity. So what if every one of us, someday, will see that same light? What if the pain and the fear we face in this life are just the threshold to something far more beautiful and vast than we can possibly imagine? I want you to take a moment and think. What would you see if you could zoom out from your body and your life right now? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Comment below what you imagine happens when we die. Is it a light? Is it a reunion? Is it something else entirely? There are no wrong answers, and if you believe there's more to reality than what we can touch and see, God is so great, and He really wants to contact us. But it's difficult for God to come through to us because we are egoistic and materialistic. We block Him in that way. It is not the intention of God that all the evil in the world, like wars, is going to happen. It's caused by our human egoism and self-centeredness. We contain both good and evil. Our task is to see to it that evil doesn't prevail. We have a responsibility for our lives here on earth. Subscribe to our channel and come explore more incredible stories from beyond the light with us. Thanks for watching.